Sri Vraja Vilasa Stava by Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami. In a mood of great deference, I offer my head unto the lotus feet of Sri Radha Krishna. Text 1. I have fallen into a helpless condition, bound with the rope of Pratishta by the highwaymen, lust, greed and anger. I implore those heroic personalities headed by Sri Swarupa, Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan, who protect the path of bhakti by which one attains Aghari Sri Hari, the destroyer of sin, to defeat my captors and cut the ropes that are binding me. Text 2. Hey Hari, I am scorched by the blazing forest fire of old age, deeply bitten by the poisonous snake of blindness, pierced by the sharp arrows of false dependence on others, and surrounded by the lions of anger, lust and greed. Hey Swamin, kindly allow me to drink your ambrosial prema, which will make me strong and brave enough to resist all enemies, so that I can resolutely do bhajan. Text 3. Remembering the flavour of but one drop of the ocean of Shri Radha Madhava's indescribable and incomparable ambrosial sweetness has made my heart wildly eager to see them. Presenting my heartfelt prayers for their darshan in this poetic treatise, I bow down before their Vrajdham and to all the Vrajvasis, moving and non-moving, even the dust, trees, animals, birds, insects, and so on and on. I pray that by their causeless mercy, Radha Madhav will grant me their darshan. Text 4. The disembodied Kamadev, who attained the body by continually tasting the nectar of the sight of Sri Jugala, eternally illuminates the entire Vraj with a jubilant festival of Sri Krishna's amorous pastimes. When will my heart be laden with love, so that I can witness the confidential play of Sri Sri Gandharva Gidihari, the crown jewels of innocent, young, beautiful couples. Text 5. The city of Dwarka, where Bhagavan resides with his relatives, including his brother and sons, and where he enjoys pastimes with a great multitude of queens, each eclipsing many hundreds of Lakshmis in virtues, beauty and good fortune, is dearer even than Vaikuntha. But Mathura, due to being the place of Krishna's birth, and being the abode and embodiment of the purest prema, is even more dear than Dwarka. Within the district of Mathura, the land of Sri Vraja manifests in all its splendour. I eternally worship the land of Mathura. Text 6. Even today, Sri Madhava enjoys the sweet nectar of transcendental pastimes there, lovingly herding the cows with his brother Baladev and his dearly beloved Shakas. The astonishing sweetness of this place appears in the hearts of the Rasika devotees. I take shelter of Raj, which is more precious even than Mathura. Text 7. Surrounded by their witty and clever gopi friends, the youthful couple, Kishore Kishori, day and night lose themselves in an unending play of amorous enjoyment in the kunjas and mountain caves of Vrindavan, dense with trees, bushes and blossoming vines. I worship the wonderful forest of Vrindavan, delightfully saturated with the intoxicating aroma of their lotus feet. Text 8. In Vrindavan is the hamlet of Nandishvara, where the goddess of fortune Kamala always wanders around looking for service, where the great mystic perfections seeking to serve the Vrajvasis are present in full, where the cows, accepting service from everyone, enjoy ever-increasing opulences, where the Vrajvasis live in topmost bliss, and where Sri Krishna freely enjoys himself under the loving protection of his parents. I worship this town and Nandishvara, the home of Rajaraj, Sri Nanda Maharaj, and a most exalted place within his kingdom. Text 9. For the welfare of his son, the king of Gokula, Sri Nanda Maharaj, daily pleases the Brahmanas by respectfully presenting them with sweets, ambrosial beverages, and celestial cows decorated with many jewels. Satisfying them with these valuable donations, he repeatedly begged their blessings for his baby boy. I worship the king of Gokula, who is always absorbed in thoughts of his son. Text 10. Because of Goteshwari's immense love for her darling son, a continuous flow of milk trickles from her breasts. She is prepared to give her life many millions of times to protect him from even a single drop of perspiration, and she is so attached to him that if for a moment she cannot see him, she cries like a cow frightened for her newborn calf. May Yasoda, the Queen of Raj, protect us. Text 11. I worship Rohini Devi, who showers her love upon Govinda more than on her own son Haladhara. She is thoroughly expert in the art of cooking. She delights the Queen of Raj with the brilliance of her sincere friendship, and she gladdens Nanda Maharaj, the king of the cowherds, with her saintly virtues. Text 12. I joyfully praise Sri Baladev, the enemy of Adenakasura, whose bodily effulgence shines brightly like many millions of glistening moons, who easily destroys even a whiff of the false pride of the most sinful and formidable demons with his boundless power, and who, although knowing full well the supernatural strength of his younger brother Sri Krishna, still, out of immense love for him, never lets him out of his sight in the woods even for a moment. Text 13. Aho, I offer pranam unto Sri Krishna's paternal grandfather, Sri Pajanya Gopa, who proclaims his pride in having Krishna as his grandson in a voice that mocks the roaring of millions of thunderclouds, and who always delights his grandson by speaking many joking words in his ear. Text 14. I offer pranam to Variyashi Devi, Krishna's paternal grandmother. With merry joking words she worships Sri Krishna, calling him the moon of grandsons. Happy and proud of her grandson, her feet no longer touch the ground when she walks. Text 15. His face handsome with a great white beard, and his complexion dark, the pious Upananda is the respected Prime Minister in the council of the King of Raj. He is prepared to give up his life millions of times over to please his nephew Sri Krishna. I pray that Upananda, who lives in the village of Sahara, may always protect the land of Raj. Text 16. May we always be protected by Nanda Maharaj's younger brother, Sananda, whose complexion is golden and whose beard is black, who is tender, generous, and affectionate, who is deeply devoted to his older brother's feet, who is the father of Sunanda Gopi, who is the master of a great herd of cows, who have mothered many calves, and who worships his nephew Madhava with every breath, and pleases him by giving him palatable dishes made with fresh yogurt. Text 17. Upananda's son Subhadra is dark complexioned, youthful, handsome, intelligent, and mild-natured. He is the best of astrologers and more learned than even Brihaspati. Always at the left side of the King of Raj, he gives good advice for protecting Krishna, who is millions of times more dear to him than his own life. With great love, I offer pranam unto Subhadra. Text 18. Frightened that the delicate Krishna may be hurt by demons, Ambika performed severe austerities for many days to please Goddess Parvati. Satisfied, Devi granted her a heroic son who was able to cure many demons. May Sri Krishna's wet nurse Ambika, whose mind is always absorbed in maternal affection for him, protect us. Text 19. Saying, "Where are the demons? With ease I shall shorten their lives." Vijay, the son of Krishna's wet nurse, calls so loudly that his roaring voice causes millions of spiritual universes to crack, what to speak of the demons, who are the most insignificant of living beings. Out of maternal affection for Krishna, Ambika instructed her son Vijay to always stay near little Krishna to protect him. I worship Vijay, the son of Krishna's wet nurse. Text 20. Bhagari Muni, the learned chief priest of Rajpura, is the shelter of the personified Vedas, who pray to him for some small service to Sri Nanda Nandana. Daily, while touching every part of Krishna Murari's body, he ceremoniously recites mantras to Bhagavan Narayan for the protection of each of the child's limbs, and daily he smells and kisses Krishna's head while offering him many benedictions. I bow down and offer pranam to the king of all sages, Bhagari Muni. Text 21. I fully take shelter of Krishna's constant companion Sridham, who never leaves Krishna for an instant, who is the object of Krishna's profuse love, who is the most skillful and clever of the Sakhas, whose complexion is dark, who is proud that his qualities, age, clothing, and handsome features closely resembles those of Krishna, and who trembles with anxiety if he cannot see his friend for even a single moment. Text 22. I offer pranam unto Shubal, the embodiment of very concentrated and ever-fresh Anurhaga, who adores Krishna, the moon of Gokula, so much so that when they are separated at night, he weeps and prays to the moon for morning to come, so that he can be with Krishna again. And when sleeping, even in his dreams, he is playing with his friend and never lets go of his hand. His heart is overwhelmed in prema, remembering how his friend Krishna enjoys the greatest happiness when meeting with Srimati Radhika, and he is bathing in a cascade of pranaya. Indeed, Shubhal lives for this. Text 23. Gathering together all the lakhs and lakhs of cows scattered here and there, Krishna's cowherd boyfriends take great delight as they move along in playfully pulling each other by the arm, grabbing Krishna's palm and reading the lines of his fortune, and joking about Krishna's meeting with his beloved. They have not a scent of Aishwarya Bhav in their hearts. The mud of awe and reverence has been completely washed away by the water from the ocean of their pure Sakya Bhav. I take shelter of these shakas who are decorated with all the apparel of cowherds, like horns and sticks, and who have placed their hearts, lives, knowledge, and their everything as an offering at Krishna's lotus feet. Text 24. With great loving respect, I praise and glorify Vrindavan Chandra's Priya Nam Saka Madhumangal, who is the very personification of Hasyaras, the miller of comedy. He is pure-hearted and ever jovial, because he is always with Krishna. As he is controlled by hunger, Krishna and the shakas enjoy teasing him, and all laugh when he threatens with his curses. He is expert in drowning his dearmost friends, Krishna and Balaram, in an ocean of laughter with his comical words and entertaining gestures. Text 25. I worship Bhagavati Purnamasi, who provides for the perpetual auspiciousness of Raj. With the help of the most expert Sakhis, she secretly makes wonderful arrangements for the clever Radha Madhava's meetings, nourishing Sri Jugala's man, loving quarrels, and Abhishara, nocturnal rendezvous. She again and again relishes the ocean of nectar produced from these blissful festivals of love. Text 26. I forever worship the renowned Rishabhanu Maharaj, who sports a neatly clipped beard, who is very generous, and who comes from a brilliant dynasty, whose complexion is golden, who, at the age of 50, is very wise and highly respected by everyone in Vraj, who is the most intimate friend of Vraj's king Nanda, and who loves his younger daughter Radha even more than he does his eldest child Sridham. Text 27. Her mind overwhelmed with a flood of love, every day Kirtida Devi, without fail, sends 2 Amara girls of Radhika's childhood nanny to gather the news of her daughter's activities in Javat. Lalita, Vishaka and the Manjaris convey to them only good news, telling about Radhika's happiness, never any bad news. May Kirtida Devi, the mother of Srimati Radhika, protect us. Text 28. I carry the dust of the lotus feet of the elderly Mukhara Devi upon my head, peevishly and cleverly contriving many obstacles to impede the amorous pastimes of her 2 young grandchildren, Kishori, she only increases their boundless bliss. Text 29. Flooded with the nectar of intense love for Jugala Kishora, who are more dear to her than her own life, Lalita Devi, affectionately arrogant in their presence, daily arranges for their rendezvous, and then with clever and nectarian words instructs her Sakhi Radhika on how to best utilize her mood of jealous anger. I pray to Lalita Devi will one day accept me into her own party. Text 30. Vishaka Devi, who is the object of Jugala Kishora's love and playful joking, pleases them with her divinely sweet singing that eclipses even the cooing cuckoo. Aho, may Vishaka Devi be pleased with us and teach us the art of singing. Text 31. I throw myself at the lotus feet of Vrinda Devi, who, filled with a great flood of love, decorates the ever-fresh kunjas of Vrindavan with a vast abundance of fragrant flowers, creating a festive atmosphere for Shri Radha Krishna and their beloved Sakhis to enjoy sweet pastimes. Text 32. I worship Kundalata Devi, who, on the order of Queen Yasoda, daily comes to Javat to take Srimati Radhika to Nanda Bhavan to cook for Krishna, and, as she hurries Radhika along, she pleases her with a continuous narration of the latest news of Sri Hari. In turn, the charming Kundalata Devi, glowing with friendship and auspicious playfulness, becomes filled with happiness. Text 33. I worship Radha and Krishna's dearmost Sakhi, Dhanishta Devi, who, after Sri Radha has been brought on Rajeshwari's order to cook for Krishna in the morning, happily finds any pretext to arrange for Srimati Radhika and her beloved to meet in the Kunja on Anandishwara hill. And when she brings Radhika from Javat, she knows which path to take where they will come upon Krishna. Because she arranges these meetings, she is Radha's life. Text 34. Her heart enchanted by repeatedly hearing the glories of Rajdam, Nandimukhi Devi left her native village in Avantipura and eagerly came to Vraja, where she eternally increases the joy of Radha Krishna's amorous meetings. With great love, I forever praise Nandimukhi Devi. Text 35. Her waters, tinged and fragrant with kumkum, kasturi, and chandan, fallen from Shri Radha and Krishna, as they joyfully play in her waters. The Yamuna river happily smiles at them with the smile of her foam and softly splashes them with the beautiful hands of her waves. I pray that Yamuna, the daughter of the sun god, may expand our happiness. Text 36. Srimati Radhika's Priya Sakhis have gone to fetch the supremely blissful Sri Hari on the order of their beloved Sakhi. They find him sitting alone in a solitary place. When he invites them to meet privately with him and catches them by the hand, they vehemently reject his appeal. Pushing him away, they spontaneously and angrily rebuke him. You will not find so much enjoyment with us, as Saki will give you much more pleasure, so come with us. Thus, they daily arrange for Radha to meet with her sweetheart. I place my head at the feet of Srimati Radhika's Priya Sakis and pray for the day when I will have the chance to do this seva. Text 37. I worship Krishna's servants, led by Patri, who in all circumstances lovingly, enthusiastically and respectfully arrange for his happiness by bringing him his flute, offering him a mirror, water and betel nuts scented with camphor, and carrying messages for him, and playing veena and other instruments for him, lovingly divided up all these services among themselves, and acting like his suckers, they eternally attend to the Lord of their lives with body, mind and words. Text 38. By offering her betel nuts, massaging her feet, bringing her water, arranging for her secret meetings with Sri Krishna, and performing various other services, countless gopi maidservants constantly please Sri Radha, the queen of Vrindavan forest. In their service to Jugala Kishora, they are even less shy than the Prana Preshta Sakis, for whom Sri Radha is more dear than life. I take shelter of these gopi maidservants, led by Sri Rupa Manjari. Text 39. I worship Madhava's fortunate associates, who consider the vast ocean of their own happiness to be as insignificant as a blade of grass, and who, filled with pure love for Sri Krishna, the enemy of the Mura demon, always lovingly and humbly strive to increase his happiness. Text 40. I worship Srimati Radhika's intimate dasis, who become so distraught that they appear as if dead, if they cannot see their Swamini even for a moment, who take their pleasure exclusively in Radhika's pleasure, whose hearts are melted with affection for her, and who enchant Krishna with their pure characters and their single-pointed focus in living only to bring joy to Jugala Kishore. Text 41. I praise and glorify the highly fortunate rival gopis who blossom with many amorous desires and who have so much punya that Govinda briefly enjoys amorous pastimes with them. Unable to satisfy him fully, these competing gopis serve to enhance Srimati Radhika's fortune, her ecstatic bewilderment and her pride in being the undisputed heroine of Shringhara Ras. Text 42. I forever worship the exalted gopas who at every moment consider themselves to be blessed with the happiness greater than all the happiness in the creation, multiplied 1,000,000 times over, who are protected by Krishna with more prema than can be found in all the universes put together, and whose minds always remain fervently alert to protect even the specks of dust falling from the tips of Krishna's handsome lotus toenails. Text 43. I perpetually venerate the foot dust of the elder gopis who, brimming over with motherly affection, most lovingly adulate the drops of perspiration that trickle from Mukunda's lotus feet, whom they love more than their own sons and their own selves, and who repeatedly kiss his head, which is so nicely decorated with a peacock feather. Text 44. Sri Krishna's cows have very beautiful bright blue hooves that shimmer more than blazing sapphires. Their gold-studded horns are most attractive, naturally looking like brilliant multicolored gems, and their radiant white humps cripple the pride of snow-capped mountain peaks. May these cows ever protect us. Text 45. I worship these cows, the daughters of Surabi, who are always eager to engage Rajendra Nandana, Balaram Sridham, and the other cowherd boys in a joyful daily festival of taking them out to graze and milking them. Worshipped by Krishna and all the sakhas, they cover the boys and themselves with a mist of sparkling snow-like dust raised by the hooves, as, filled with love, they roam around the dense forests, high mountains and river banks of Vraj. Text 46. All glories to Krishna's pet bull Padmaganda, who is fragrant like a lotus, whose handsome gold-studded horns shimmer like many-coloured jewels, whose charming hooves are more effulgent than precious sapphires, and around whose splendid white neck dances a brilliant necklace made of red and white rope charmingly twisted together with bells and jewels. Text 47. Sometimes Krishna feeds the calves, lovingly placing small bunches of tender fresh grass in their mouths, and sometimes he gently scratches and rubs their bodies. Oh, how I yearn to one day see Krishna's calves jumping and frolicking in Vrindavan. Text 48. Oh, I continuously offer pranams unto the most fortunate Murali, flute, who is nourished by deeply drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips, day and night without obstruction, and who dissolves Sri Radhika's great loving peak with her sweet sounds. Text 49. Neither the flattering or cajoling words spoken by Vrinda and the other Gopi messengers, nor the gestures and jokes of Madhumango and other sakhas, nor the Prince of Raj personally falling at her feet and begging her to forgive him, nor even the angry rebukes spoken by her intimate friends were able to mollify Srimati Radhika's unrelenting man. Only Krishna's flute, disdaining all previous useless attempts, was able to easily chase away her jealous anger. I always glorify and offer pranam to this most fortunate Sakhi, Krishna's Vamsi. Text 50. I eagerly yearn to see Tandavika, the king of peacocks. I remember how he bloomed with joy upon hearing the melody of Hari's Murali, and how, when Radha Kunjavihari were enjoying in the Kunja, he delighted them by spreading out his tail feathers and joyfully danced before their gate on the bank of Radhakund. Text 51. May we always be protected by Sri Govardhan, who became worshipable when Sri Murari for 7 days lovingly held the hill aloft with his graceful hand to defend Vraj. May we always be protected by Sri Govardhan, whose caves are coloured with shining kumkum particles falling from Gandhava Girihari as they enjoy amorous pastimes. May we always be protected by Sri Govardhan, whose boulders serve as beautiful jewelled sofas for the comfort of Jugala Kishora. Text 52. I take shelter of the supremely enchanting Sangam, where Kali Priya Shtala, where Radha Kund and Shama Kund meet. This is Radha Madhava's favourite playground, and is especially enchanting, being full of many champak, beautiful young Ashok, mango, Naga Keshara and buckle trees, and dense masses of lavanga and madhavi creepers. Text 53. What to speak of other places? The delightful forest of Vrindavan, beautiful Govardhan Hill, and a rasa stali flowing with nectar are not equal to even a single particle of one of the atoms of Radhakund. I take shelter of this most special pond, which is as precious to Mukunda as his dear most beloved Srimati Radhika herself. Text 54. Rejecting many lavish golden pavilions studded with jewels and pearls as thoroughly paltry, I eternally worship Jugala Kishora's preferred pastime place, the brilliantly shining and fabulous Mahakunja on the bank of Radhakund, where Jugala Kishora enjoyed themselves blissfully absorbed in discussing at great length the humorous goings-on in the kingdom of Kamadev, having appointed him as their minister of amorous affairs. Text 55. Oh, how wonderful! Glowing with intense love for each other, Jugala Kishora reflected the mirrors of each other's hearts, as if wearing their passion for each other as a locket and as their garments. The Creator Brahma has beautifully fashioned them from the fabric of good fortune, and they are the abode of the greatest beauty within the three worlds. When will I be able to directly serve my dearmost golden bluish Jugala Kishora, beautiful like a streak of lightning flashing against a fresh dark rain cloud? Text 56. With heaps and heaps of praise, I lavishly glorify Ujjvala Maharaj, who is Prema itself, inciting Jugala Kishora's loving affairs, and who worships them by inspiring their many wonderful erotic practices, their eyes rolling automatically, their arms extended invitingly, nectarian gentle smiles, drinking ambrosia from each other's mouths, sweet kisses placed on each other's lips and tight embraces, with body, mind and words, I offer pranam to Ujjvala Maharaj. Text 57. I eternally worship Sri Radha Madhav's early adolescence, when various sweet symptoms become manifest, elongated eyes, crookedness of their sidelong glances, broadening of the chest, blooming of the breasts, charming craftiness of their spoken words, fullness of their hips, and an extraordinary intense sweetness pervading all their limbs. Text 58. I always eagerly worship Aristakund, Shamakund, which is none different from Sham himself, which, upon the killing of the wicked Aristasura, automatically sprang from Krishna's lotus feet, just as nectar naturally trickles from a blooming lotus. This pond, which holds Radhakund in an eternally tight embrace, is so dear to Srimati Radhika that with her own hand she lovingly beautified it with bathing staircases. Text 59. On the pretext of going to fetch clear water, the lotus-eyed gopis again and again go to Pavana Sarovar, where they meet Gopendra Nandana with great happiness and love. May Pavana Sarovar, which is surrounded with many kadamba trees, resounding with the pleasant humming of many bees, protect us by granting us residence on its bank. May Pavana Sarovar enable us to directly realize the sweetness of Jugala Kishora's pastimes. Text 60. Seeing that his son Vrajaraj Nanda had no offspring, grandfather Pajanya Gopa went to the bank of Kushanahara Sarovar. There he worshipped Bhagavan Sri Narayan by ardently fasting from food and water in order to attain a worthy grandson who would be the abode of all transcendental virtues, who could destroy all the demons and lift Govardhan Hill. May this sacred pond, which is known all over the world as Kusanahara Sarovar, the lake of fasting, be our shelter. Text 61. Ordered by Brahma speaking from the sky, Bhagavati Shri Purnamasi coronated Srimati Radhika as queen of the super excellent kingdom of Vrindavan, accompanied by Savitri Devi and many other joyfully dancing goddesses. She jubilantly performed her Abhishek ceremony with the waters of the Manasa Ganga and other sacred rivers. May this sacred place, known as Unmata Radhastali, the place where Srimati Radhika was showered with joy, shower us with great happiness. Text 62. In a square-shaped pavilion named Ashtani, which expert craftsmen lovingly fashioned from large boulders at the foot of Nandishvara hill, Krishna, Sridham, and all their friends play many fun-filled games. I take shelter of this pavilion, which is fragrant with the scent of Sri Hari's lotus feet. Text 63. As he was dancing with the intelligent, graceful, and splendidly beautiful gopis, Sri Krishna, the subduer of the Mura demon, suddenly left their company and went with Srimati Radhika to a secluded place. There, after wonderfully decorating her with many kinds of flowers, he greatly enjoyed intimate exchanges with her. I pray that this sacred Rasa Stali, whose sweetness astonishes the residents of all the three worlds, may grant us residence. Text 64. May Manasa Ganga, who enjoys the abundant sweetness of Shishi Gandhavika Murarva Mahadana's jubilant boating pastimes, protect us. Her waves of ecstasy constantly bathe the Govardhan Shilas lining her shore. May she protect us from everything unfavourable to relishing the rasa of Jugala Kishora's pastimes. Text 65. I worship Giriraj Govardhan, the best of all the hills of Raj, Madhava and his beloved suckers, as they herd the cows, decorate themselves with the mountain's colourful mineral pigments, and joke and play hide and seek. In the secluded caves of Govardhan, Madhava enjoys intimate pastimes with Srimati Radhika. Text 66. While tending the cows in the summertime, Brajendra Nandana Sri Krishna jubilantly plays with his friends in the cool waters of the streams and expansive lakes of Raj. In their joking combat, both sides are eager for victory and rigorously splash each other as they enjoy their sports. I eternally worship these lakes and streams where the son of the king of Gopas enjoys with his suckers. Text 67. Hearing the beautiful sound of Srimati Radhika playing her Kachapi Veena, accompanied by Sri Krishna playing his Murali flute, the most enchanting best of deer becomes stunned with rapture. With half-chewed grass hanging from their mouths, and with deep feelings of friendship, they surround Jugala Kishora, looking up to gaze upon their lotus faces. May these charming deer, who are full of love for Sri Jugala, give us the treasure of their ecstatic love, and thus delight us at every moment. Text 68. The bewilderingly fragrant kunjas of Raj are permeated with a vast variety of pleasing flowers enjoyed by swarms of sweetly humming bees. In these love bhawas, the youthful Sri Jugala enjoy amorous affairs, their hearts delighted by the rising waves of calm. Let us sweep these aromatic kunjas with our long hair. Text 69. The youthful Radha Madhav, taking shelter under the umbrella of refreshingly cool shade cast by the dense leafy trees, blissfully enjoy love play on the bed of flowers day and night. Their bed of blossoms glistens with fragrant pollen fallen from the flowers in the trees, and their honey attracts swarms of restless bees who happily worship Jugala Kishora while humming their glories. May these trees always protect us. May we stay eternally in Raj in their pleasant shade and do bhajan. Text 70. The gently smiling lovers Sri Gandhava Murara Vari, surrounded by their sweetly smiling gopi friends, playfully crawl as they slowly move along, picking flowers from the creepers. Witnessing these ever-fresh verbal contentions, the creepers of Raj also smile and laugh, their profuse blossoms expressing their joy. May we serve these transcendental creepers with great love and devotion. Text 71. Plunged into the nectar of their service, the birds of Raj are very dear to the youthful Sri Jugala. Always staying close by, they delight Kishore Kishore with their sweet singing. May they delight me as well with their merciful glance. Note. The birds especially love to be with Srimati Radhika, taking shelter of her oceanic Vatsalya Bhav and her prema. Greater even than Krishna's, the birds perform so many intimate services for her, helping to arrange the Leelas by carrying messages and letters to and from Krishna, warning them when Jatila is coming, fanning her with their wings, watching her from the branches of the trees, and singing just the right song to increase her moods, and even knowing when to keep silent. Being so in tune with her heart, these birds, deeply drinking prema rasa, become thoroughly intoxicated, lose control of themselves, and forget who they are. May these birds, who are Radhika's constant companions, delight me with their merciful glance and help me to reach their mistress. My heart is on fire without her savour, so I pray for the cool shower of their glance. Because they are fully under her protection, I pray that I may also come under her wing, and may they inspire me to sing Radha Madhav's glories as sweetly and lovingly as they do. Text 72. With body, mind and words, I lavish heaps of praise upon the bees of Raj, who, while hovering about the mango, bakula, kadamba and other trees, as well as wandering through the Madhavi and other flowering vines, greatly increase Radha Govinda's pleasure by eulogizing them with their melodious humming, the sound of Madana's conch. Text 73. Blooming with happiness, Giridhari, the king of the Kunjas, decorates Nikunjeshwari Sri Radha with many blossoming flowers that he picked from the grand Kadamba tree outside their kunja. Her heart blossoming with joy as he covers her with Kadamba flowers, she brings her beloved under control with her crooked glances. May that king of Kadamba trees, who assists in Sri Jugala's enjoyment, appear before me and enhance the pleasure of my eyes. Her eyes rolling in invitation, Nikunjeshwari signals to Giridhari that she will certainly satisfy his earnest request for prema. His heart abounding with excitement, Giridhari is anxious to do battle with Nikunjeshwari's 2 soldiers, and he happily prays, I want to fight with my 2 enemies. Happily, Srimati Radhika, now Swadhina Bhadrika, controlling her beloved, immediately accepts his proposal. With great delight, Nikunjeshwara, Sri Krishna, decorates his sweetheart with flowers from the nearby Kadamba tree. From that tree's many coloured and many-sized blossoms, he fashions earrings, nose stud, armlets, and various other ornaments. He weaves flowers into her hair and delicately places petals on her cheeks in a charming design. Text 74. Greatly fearful that he had committed an offence to Sri Krishna, Shurapati Indra humbly grasped his lotus feet. With the help of a Sarabi cow, he performed Krishna's Abhishek festival, bathing him with the water of the celestial Ganges. Receiving the name Govinda, Krishna was established as king of the cows and with great pomp and splendour. I pray that Govinda Kund, the lake created by that ceremony, may eternally manifest before my eyes. Text 75. I take shelter of the place named An Ode, where Raghunatha offered a mounting of rice and huge quantities of other foodstuffs to Giriraj Govardhan. Here, Hare Krishna assumed a gigantic form, proclaimed that he was actually Govardhan Hill, and invited everyone to ask boons from him. Fooling all the Rajrashis and even Srimati Radhika, who don't know that Govardhan is actually Shyamasundara, he gave benedictions to each person and then ate the huge offering. Note, all the Rajrashis happily prayed to Giriraj that Shyamasundara should have a long life and should be blessed with a nice wife. Radhika was also there, praying to Giriraj to make Krishna her upapati and to give her the chance to serve him. Vratkaya, Krishna answered her prayer, but only after some time, wanting to keep her there in front of him to drink her beauty deeply. Text 76. With great loving devotion I worship the place located at the summit of Govardhan Hill named Haristhala, where the charming and handsome Hari always enjoys ever new and fresh blissful pastimes. Here he is decorated with royal ornaments befitting a prince. Note, from this peak Hari is able to see Srimati Radhika and the gopis standing in another part of Govardhan, and he experiences great jubilation when they look at each other from the distance. Here he is decorated with Radhika's bhavas, which inspire his heart from afar. I do pranam to Haristhala, who should inspire anurag in my heart so that I can taste the Swarasiki Upasana. Text 77. One morning, Nagarendra, the youthful king of amorous heroes, surrounded by his friends, became eager at heart to enjoy Dhanakeli pastime. Blocking the path, he forbade Sri Gandhava and her girlfriends to pass, proclaimed himself as a toll collector appointed by Madana, and demanded that they pay tax on the milk products they were carrying. Time and again I offer pranam and sing the glories of Sri Krishna Vedi, where this Leela took place. When will the day be mine when I can go there with Srimati Radhika and her Sakhis? Text 78. May I always reside at Dhana Nivadana Kunda, the solitary place where Radha Madhav completed their Dhanakeli Leela. The truth of this lake remains hidden to persons averse to tasting pure devotional mellows, and is only known by the Rasika devotees. Text 79. Eager to see the enchanting pastimes that happened around Govardhan, I praise all the exalted ponds and other holy places manifested as so many beautiful jewels circling the hill. Paladev Kund, Brahma Kund, Kadamba Kandi, Kushrama Sarova, Rudra Kund, Apsara Kund, Gauri Tirtha, Chandra Sarovara, Ranna Papa Mochana Kunda, Malyahara Kund, Vibhudhari Kund, Shama Kund, Indra Dhwajvali Veda, as well as Chakra Tirtha and Shri Ratna Pita, the jeweled throne situated upon the Daivatagiri, the divine Govardhan. Text 80. Aho, I worship Govardhan Sthala, the famous and sanctified place where every spring the gopis push Sri Gandhava Girihari on a swing. Their faces blossom with happiness, tasting the nectar of these swing pastimes. Text 81. Bathing here and drinking its waters, I worship Kaliyahradha, the lake where Hari punished Kaliyanaga for having offended his friends, who are more precious to him than his own life. He danced on his hoods and rhythmically kicked him with the soles of his feet. Text 82. I eternally take shelter of the sacred place which bears the name Dwadasa Surya Tirtha, the place of the 12 suns. After chastising Kaliya in the Yamuna, in the munificent Mora ripple, Sri Krishna was shivering with cold. Here he was warmed with great devotion by the strong rays of 12 suns, Adityas, while the Gopas, Gopis, and lowing Surabhi cows looked on. Text 83. When Sri Govinda was being served by the intense heat of the Adityas shining from every direction, perspiration trickled from his body, creating a sacred pond. The waters of this charming pond are most aromatic and splendid, bearing the sweet fragrance of Govinda's tender, beautiful and lustrous limbs. I worship and praise the most brilliant Prakshakandhana Kund. Text 84. I take shelter of Chiragata, where the cowherd maidens performed an exceptional vow to please Katyayani Devi to get Krishna as their husband. They left their clothes on the bank of the Yamuna and dipped into her clear cold waters. Smiling, Sri Krishna stole their garments without being noticed and climbed the nearby Kadamba tree with their clothes. After teasing and embarrassing the gopis sufficiently, he eventually returned their garments. Text 85. With his mad whinnying, the great horse demon Keshi made the three worlds tremble, and with the wild rolling of his burning eyes he set the entire universe in flames. Sri Krishna killed this demon as easily as one splits a blade of grass, and then washed his blood-stained hands in the Yamuna at the place now known as Keshi Tirtha, Keshi Ghat. I worship that sacred place. I praise the place where Krishna and Balaram were playing freely with their beloved suckers when they were attacked by hunger. Here the supremely beautiful wives of the learned Yajnik Brahmanas happily and devotedly fed all the cowherd boys many varieties of the 4 kinds of foodstuff, each dish rebuking them in taste of nectar. I always glorify this sacred place and roll at the feet of those Brahmanis, for it is certain that with their blessings one will attain steady devotion. Text 87. Desiring to attain the precious gift of being embraced by the arms of Rajendra Nandana Shyama Sundara, the splendid gopis filled with pranaya devotedly and happily worship Gopeshwara Mahadev on the bank of the Yamuna. I daily worship Gopeshwara Mahadev, who quickly granted the gopis their desire. Text 88. Fearing Kamsa, who was killing the newborn boys and kidnapping the baby girls, Vrishabhanu Maharaj safely hid Srimati Radhika in a secluded place known as Santanapada. Having seen the handsome Shyam, whose complexion is as dark as a host of monsoon clouds, she earnestly worshipped Suryadev to attain his association. May Suryadev protect us and remove all obstacles to our bhakti. Text 89. During Sri Krishna's great birth festival, Rajaraj Nanda respectfully and happily donated to the local Brahmanas a mountain of glittering jeweled ornaments, an even greater mountain of sesame, and 200,000 young cows, all beautifully decorated with gold and strings of pearls. I glorify Mahavan, the place where the king of Raj distributed this charity. Text 90. In Risharavipura, densely populated with many gopas, gopis and Surabhi cows, the precious jewel of Srimati Radhika emerged from the mine of Kirtida Devi's womb, which is glorified by jubilant demigods and sages, as well as ordinary human beings. I pray that when I enter King Vrishabhanu's capital city of Raval, I may drown in the great flood of love. Text 91. Although for her own happiness she yearns to place Krishna's soft and beautiful lotus feet on her raised breasts, Srimati Radhika is reluctant to do so, fearing that even though her body is very delicate, her breasts are too hard. I pray that Shri Krishna will kindly bestow upon us eternal residence in his enchanting Vraj. Text 92. Let me worship Shri Radha Madhava's most favourite forest, Kamyavan, which is the site of Kama Sarovar, also known as Gopika Ramana Sarovar, where the gopis enjoy many amorous pastimes with their beloved. Text 93. I worship Vrindavan, where my Rasamai mistress, Krishna's beloved Radha, dressed herself and her closest friends as wrestlers, when she proudly and eagerly wrestled here with Krishna, the killer of Bakasura. She greatly pleased Madana, the god of love. 94. As the Yamuna was slowly flowing towards the salt ocean due to separation from Krishna, Balaramji ordered her to come close. When she would not comply, he became irate and dragged her with the tip of his plough. Even today, the river's crooked course can still be seen. With deep devotion, I praise this wonderful place known as Ramagata. Text 95. Distressed at seeing her bosom friends enter the greatly sinful Aghasura's belly, which burned with virulent poison, dangerous as a great forest fire, Murari also entered the serpent's mouth. Within a moment he killed that vile demon and rescued his friends. May Shapashtali, the place where the Lord enjoyed his pastimes, also protect us. Text 96. I worship Vatsahara Stali, where, eager to behold his master's wonderful glories, the creator Brahma quickly snatched away the cowherd boys and calves. Hari then assumed the forms of all the boys and calves, and greatly pleased their mothers by gladly eating all the delectable foodstuffs they offered him. Text 97. I eternally offer respects to the sacred place known as Shesha Bhiru Chatamukha, as well as to Shesha, Sri Krishna himself. Here the four-faced Brahma fell on the ground and offered prayers to the Lord, afraid that he had committed a grave offence by stealing the cowherd boys and calves. Amidst profuse tears, he offered many wonderful and unprecedented prayers, glorifying the gentle smiling Mukunda, the wonderful cowherd son of the king of Vraj. 98. I glorify again and again Krishna's dearly prized 12 forests, where armies of intoxicated bees buzz about masses of fragrant flowers. These forests are splendid with many desire trees and wish-fulfilling creepers, and are further beautified by many expansive lakes, rivers and large hills. Text 99. With utmost reverence I worship Sri Uddhava Mahashaya, who is filled with the flavours of love for Sri Murari, both as servant and friend. Krishna's lotus feet are millions of times more dear to him than his own life, but he left them behind and stayed in Vraj for 10 months. There he consoled and revived the Vrajvasis by constantly narrating Krishna's pastimes and assuring them, Lord Krishna is just now coming from Mathura. Text 100. With deep reverence I glorify all the residents of Vraj. How fortunate they are to be so dear to Krishna and to always lovingly serve him. Just to have the chance to bathe in the foot dust of these pious Vrajvasis, even the great Brahma, busy with the creation entrusted to him by Bhagavan, sincerely yearns to take birth in Vraj as a blade of grass, shrub, creeper, or any other similar species. Every day I praise and worship all the Rajrasis, and I pray for their blessings that I will also get eternal residence in Vraj. Text 101. Having previously worshipped the beautiful lotus feet of Sri Kantava Achyuta with ever fresh and sweet loving sentiments, some great souls are able to reside on the bank of my Swamini's favourite lake, Radhakund. These exalted personalities are the mainstay of my life. Text 102. I praise the glories of the blissful grass, bushes, creepers, insects, animals, birds and other creatures of Vraj, who, helping to enrich his pastimes, are all very dear to Mukunda. They are all transcendental and increase his pleasure. Their good fortune is coveted by Brahma, Uddhava and others, and is repeatedly and clearly established in Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 103. Aho, when will I wander around the slopes of Govardhan, madly calling out over again and again, Hey Radhe, Hey Krishna? And when, stumbling and sometimes falling unconscious on the ground, will I sprinkle their playland with the constant flow of my tears? Text 104. How can I possibly describe this land of Vraj, whose billowing sweetness cannot be fully comprehended even by Brahma, Narada, Shiva, and many other of the most exalted Premi devotees? Only Baladev and his mother Rohini Devi truly know the glories of Vraj, and Sri Uddhava, intoxicated with prema, knows something of it. Text 105. Even if I have the opportunity to bathe in the nectarian ocean of prema, and even if I have the pure devotees as my associates, I will not consent to live even for a single moment in any sacred place other than Vraj Bhumi. Even if the residents of Vraj appear to be ordinary, and even if they fill my ears with useless gossip, I pray that I may remain among them, eternally residing here in Vraj. Text 106. May all my inclinations to love be fully fixed at the lotus feet of Sri Radha, who is so qualified that all divine attributes worship her. She has become the exclusive object of Murari Dvija's blind infatuation through the diplomatic genius of Rupa Manjari, who lovingly and cleverly brings Jugala Kishora together for their passionate enjoyment. Text 107. Those who always reverently and eagerly recite this beautiful Vraja Vilasa Stava, which is filled with the sweetness and loving sentiments of the eternal residents of Vraj, will certainly attain direct darshan of Jugala Kishora along with their associates.